Hello. I did not come up with an additional joke for starting tonight's stream, so let me just read the announcement that I left on Twitter and YouTube today. After getting through a slog of a half Joe joke of a level last night, we can stand proudly on the better side of the world of MaGMML3. Join me for Tier 8 at 8:30 p.m. EDT as we leave the losing levels behind without a requiem. I did not think this was the direction my announcement would go tonight. Sticky fingers. I'm very glad to be done with the previous JoJo level, but I can still at least crank out a, well, I won't say half decent, just a tired Joe joke, and honestly, we like that. So, as we move on to better things, let's talk to Parrot Punk over here. He certainly has an interesting costume on. Then again, I guess I can't really judge. I kept getting thrown out because of all my costume ideas were too sharp and spiky for them. Well, you just need to commission somebody. How about this? I may look daft, but one touch and bam, you'll pop into a ton of colorful orbs. Or bland and boring white orbs if you're in a vanilla normie who supports the man, unlike me. Clearly it's Punk playing as Mick Galbo. Oh, you're so right, actually. That makes way more sense. Hey, I'm trying to pop myself on you, Punk. You're really not living up to expectations here. Alright, Rock Fortress, 92nd. Alright, 1 and 3. Pretty solid numbers to start seeing here. You giving me hope for a good stream. Graphics Mini Macro, Cosmic Gem. Ooh, Cosmic Gem. That's good. I can hear it, too. The quality is apparent immediately. It should be much less painful overall. Now that's what I like to hear. I need my stream advertising to start living up to the fact that things are okay. All right, I'm not doing well with the Joe, but we can blast past that. All right, I guess Ice Wall will be the best solution to this. Oh no, it's not. All right, Magnet Beam would be the best solution. Well, another great news. I'm no longer on call tonight, so I have done my 2 weeks of time. I now no longer have to worry about people at my university calling me with some kind of insane problem to solve. So I can be a lot more relaxed and not be constantly looking at my work phone the entire stream. Exciting developments, I know. Thankfully, I got through the whole first time being on an on-call session without too much difficulty. Not to tell too much and identify where I work, but, you know, I only had 2 incidents. One was just a weird spill that took a while to figure out how to clean up, and then the other one was just somebody simply cut themselves and wanted to report an injury. So I'm thankful that I didn't have some kind of like, hello, the building is burning down. It also contains several pounds of radioactive material. How do we fix this? So, not a bad way to start off. Starting off, can I start off? Okay, no, I can't quite start the blocks from the middle of the pattern. I mean, without, like, Magnet Beam or something. I appreciate the visual tells in the background. It makes platforming on these things a lot less annoying. You don't have to deal with the memory game that we were dealing with in the last stage with stars and night blocks. Could have waited for that. Oh well. I will say, well, I think the graphics look the graphics look nice, competent, I like them, but they are feeling very themeless. This is starting to kind of just feel like something between like a, I don't know, random data mainframe and, I don't know, empty cyberspace? Oh, those are basically the same thing. But yeah, there's not really much theming going on with these aesthetics. They're fine to look at, but I'm lacking for, you know, what I'm supposed to be getting out of this level. Also starting to notice there's a lack of much gimmick besides the disappearing blocks, so... Where are the gimmicks, man? I mean, not Gimmick Man, I know that he'll be around later eventually, but... This man definitely could use some telegraphs of the Yoku block occasions. Yeah, it at the very least could have been not to get back right into it, but it could have used some consistency on if it was going to telegraph them or not. I'm honestly fine you know, overall level not having the telegraphs. It's not the end of the world for me, but, you know, it is... Oh, well, I missed my opportunity. It's not the end of the world for me, but, you know, at the very least be consistent about it. And if you're not going to use them, then don't put, you know, don't put, like, Heatman traps in your block patterns. That's all I ask. Like, the ones that have been in this stage so far would have been completely reasonable without tells. Okay, very, very inconvenient achievement. I just realized I forgot to start my timer. Give me 1 second. There we go. It's a fair token challenge to rush up there, though. It was just horrible timing on the game's part. Okay. A little strange to not have... The Yoku blocks didn't really increase in difficulty much there, but I guess it's fine if we're transitioning over to a pit now. That feels like the appropriate acceleration of challenge. Simple enough, although to have, and it's an effective, well, maybe we're not actually done with the stage yet. I was going to say it's an effective climax to the use of Yoku blocks, but it is, you know, it's certainly something that's been seen before. We're starting to lose a few points in the creativity department, but overall, I mean, you know, a fun, nice stage, a rompy little thing, something I would expect to see out of Mega Maker. Wow, that's the first time I've ever done a perfect fight against Metal Daddy. I mean, it's easier than the original version, but still, I'll take it. Alright, and now to count bombs. Yeah, alright, we're falling victim to the easy trap of very common gimmicks. Not that makes for a bad stage. I enjoy the way that they're using the kind of Nitroman setups here, but the originality is suffering a little bit. Okay, I do like that indicator that the lasers are back, though. That's very nice to competently do so without, you know, just catching the player by surprise. I guess that is another gimmick in the stage. More lasers. Okay, well that one's not telegraphed so well. Oh, okay. Unexpected auto-scroll. Alright, I was talking shit. The game heard me talking shit, how there wasn't enough going on. Okay, do this quickly. Okay, I like the way that Susie was set up, actually. That's nice. It's perfectly in the way for getting the token. Damn. Alright, that was a cool, actually, assemblage. That was a good usage of the Yoku blocks. We're good, and of the count bombs. We're getting somewhere. Mets, Joe, Susie, shield attackers, count bombs, force beams. And let's see what else here. Mega blocks. We're hitting every generic obstacle without much in the way of new setups immediately. Although now we are definitely hitting something new. Move? Okay, not quickly enough. Yeah, the auto scroll is interesting. It's giving all of these gimmicks an actual, like, you know, cool use case. Alright, the Gabriel had no right to get me there, but I let it. I let it win. It needed to feel significant. That's what I'll tell myself to sleep at night. It was funny, last night I basically immediately started watching Flashman's review playthrough of Worthless Man last night, just because I needed to hear somebody also share my agony. Agony. And yeah, same amount of frustration. It is validating. But yeah, I can also see that maybe from a calmer state of mind, that stage did technically have things that earned it points. So, it's just a shame that it took away all of my and many judges' goodwill by the end there. All right, what you got in the back here? Copy Crash. Wait a minute. Somebody get Ira Team on the phone. This is Crash Icarus Nega. Alright, this is a cool take on the copy robot. Not making it have to wait for whatever you're doing. Okay, it does still have the copy robot AI. I should consider that. Hey, yours get to come out with momentum immediately? That's not fair. Mine doesn't do that. It is also kind of nice that it doesn't do so much damage. It's exactly as you'd kind of expect back to you, how much damage it would take. I guess that does beg the question, what is Mega Man's weakness? It's contact damage, if anything. Alright, let's see. Sweet Doggo only wants to prevent your entry to Wily's castle. That's fair. Wily didn't invite me there, after all. I need a warrant to enter his castle. Mega Man DOS. Okay. Alright, well, let's see. Thoughts on that level? I mean, it didn't do anything completely offensive. It was just using maybe some very generic assets and had a very generic aesthetic to it as well. The copy robot fight at the end was at least an improvement on the original copy robot, so there was some innovation and fun there. And it does kind of fit the generic tile set at the very least, so there was some kind of coherency to the aesthetics and the theming and all that good stuff. But, you know, it just didn't really pop too much. The final auto-scroll section, though, was a good use of all of the lasers accepted. It was a good use of all of the more generic assets together, actually making... I can't remember the last time I actually felt the threat of a count bomb timer be real instead of like, oh, I'll just platform faster. So like, props for that. That was good design there at the end. Overall fun. Overall fun. Had a couple of cool ideas, although, you know, nothing we've never seen before. It's good. Fortress is very generic. Yep, plays very well. Doesn't do anything. Doesn't do a lot creatively aside from the vertical auto-scrolling. Yeah, that was the highlight of the level. But you know, aside of that, you know, it was missing some je ne sais quoi. If I describe Rock Fortress in 2 words, it's pure design. Glad you can see where the Yoku blocks will spawn. It means it lets guesswork. I found the force beam sections pretty well. Bomb and the auto-scroll also play fairly smoothly. Finally got 2 punishing too quickly, the auto-scroll especially. Your first time with a gimmick shouldn't be so willing to kill you for a single mistake, and there's quite a bit of auto-scroll to get through. Yeah, I guess so. There wasn't any vertical auto-scrolling sections previously, so that could have used an indicator, much like the force beams got an indicator, sort of indicator, for like just, oh, well, the screen before is telling you here's some harmless force beams, the ones that you'll never touch. So yeah, we could have, I guess, used a practice auto-scroll, vertical auto-scroll, but then the level would start getting a bit long, so, you know, I see where the difficulty and time balance was. Enemy appearances are respectable across the board, at least none of them stuck out as bad. Can't for the life of me remember any individual encounters besides Copy Robot. There was one, maybe 2 Sniper Joes in the whole level. They didn't really add very much. Mostly because it was custom boss, even then I actually forgot it was custom at first. Big flaw, none of the levels badly designed, all completely fails to be interesting. All the concepts presented here are ones that have been seen before. None of them inspire much reaction. Even the aesthetic, while technically sound, is ultimately just generic Fortress. It feels like it was churned out by a factory. Essentially, there was very little life to this place. As a result, I didn't find this very fun. Certainly not interesting enough to be worth a replay. I would say I found it fun, but I would agree not that interesting. You know, maybe I'd replay it if I was just like, oh, what was this level? Oh yeah, sure, I'll go back and do this. And I'm like super bored. It's clear there's plenty of effort put in, but all the design in the world won't help a feel that feels lifeless. And this feels lifeless. Yeah, it does a little bit. The color palette doesn't help. Early series Wily level. I could see that. I could kind of see that. I don't know. Even the Mega Man 1 castle has a little bit more charm for me, but definitely, yeah, Mega Man 1's castle is probably has the least identity of all of the Wily castles, so it would probably slot in with Mega Man 1 pretty nicely, which, with Copy Robot as a boss, or Copy Robot Plus, I guess, you know, that's a win. First impressions, pretty good. Let's see here. Gradually lost interest. Yeah, a little bit. The stage design is relatively decent. It's also a bit on the generic side. Granted, you don't need to make something complex in order for it to be good. Most is a bit forgettable. Yeah, not too much platforming is all that memorable. And immediately died. I realize this is... Try to go down a ladder. Shinryu, you did Flashman's job for him. You silly goose. I realize this probability to prevent the player from easily getting the token in the room prior. Better ways of doing that. Yeah. Good opinion. Aside from that, there was only 2 other times the stage stood out to me. The auto-scrolling section, the boss. A bit too tight in some parts. I mean, maybe a little bit, but I think that's what makes an auto-scroller kind of good. You don't want your auto-scroller to be too lackadaisical, so... Maybe having a 2 count bomb guarding the ladder instead of a 3 count bomb would have been a little bit more appropriate. Let's see, it's not terrible, but very basic. Ice wall attack is a bit off. I mean, yeah. But other than that, there aren't any other issues. Aesthetics difficult curve are there, but needs something more interesting. Agreed. Standard stage, lots of commonly used gimmicks. Not bad either. Good difficulty curve, right? Shooting into where a player wouldn't be just a room before. Oh yeah, the indicator. Nice. Could have been a lot more evil, but it certainly wasn't. Enemy density's a little barren. A little bit, but the couple of enemies that were there, I'll remember the Susie setup for the 3rd token. That was pretty good, actually. Them standing in the way actually added pressure to things, which is not something you say often for just these big tanky Susies everywhere. The final section is a bit mean too. Copy robot-like fight, a little bit chaotic. Yeah, once you learn its pattern, though, you can kind of, you know, manipulate it a little bit. Considered every definition of rock I can think of, and none of them seem to fit this fortress, unless you think of just Rockman, and that's it. It is a Rockman fortress, certainly. I know pedantic about titles, want to understand what I was promised a rock fortress and got an all-you-can-eat buffet of overused enemies and gimmicks. It's fortunate the design here is quite competent. These are perfectly timed. The auto-scrolling section is comfortably frantic. Yeah, where its creativity is where it all falls apart. About Metal Daddy and the Stair and boss. Oh yeah, we just had to randomly fight Metal Daddy in the middle there. That was strange. Many assets live in isolation. A number of professional touches help a great deal. Capcom quality aesthetics, solid construction, architecture with a coherent flow, and an unassuming text box that promptly gets the credits out of the way. Challenges are consistently fair and reasonably far from the nearest checkpoint. Laser Trident and Rush Jet only ruin part of the difficulty. Some running wouldn't hurt, but the level length is manageable, or some trimming wouldn't hurt. Level length is manageable. First token, while admittedly a little inelegant, has a great puzzle slant. There's a puzzle part to it. I just magnet beamed my way over there. Visually and architecturally, I'm fond of the thick pillars in the area before the first lasers. Yeah, they're nice. Surprise lasers from the sky are a hoot. Yeah, though standing up on the edge probably wouldn't elicit the same opinion. Without wall markings to guide me. Oops. Scarcely receiving end of this content's weapon roster. Only a handful of screens get me excited to play this, but I respect the polish. Agreed. I mean, it's called Rock Fortress because the music is rockin'. You could say that about everything. You would need more Rock and Roll Hall of Fame decals everywhere. But then you'd get sued, so... Two highlights. I like the boss and the scrolling segment. Whilst Unforgiving was a neat addition. Little fake out the Yoga block introduced earlier in the stage made a devious return there, and the fact it was actually telegraphed early in the level was nicely done. A fake out? Oh, maybe just by having to jump directly upward. Maybe that's what a spark means. The rest of the level was a Snorefest. What happened? The most generic enemies? Yeah, a little bit. Not an identity, they're just there. Yeah, tile set was a bit dull. Competent, but a little boring. Copter Robot was a rather fun return. Water Shield is rather unfair, and so is Magnet Shockwave, to be quite honest. Let's see. Lead one rather miffed. The wrong combination turns up. Still, he's fun to fight. I'll give you that. Alright. Fair enough. A fairly innocent level down. What does 91 have for us? Oh, hello, Pirate Man? What are you looking at, Pardoner? Oh, this is a hard accent to pull off. Alright, let me think about this and see if I can pull off Western Pirate. Eh? What are ye looking at, Pardoner? Ain't ye never seen a desert bandit in a poncho before? What do you think I am, some kind of pirate? Oh, that's a poncho? I thought it was a pirate flag. It looks so real, though. Where did you buy it? Buy it? By all the shipwrecks of the damned, ye dare suggest I actually spend me loot? On a tawdry costume, no less. Pirate Man, I knew it was you. What are you doing here? I thought you were banned after what you tried to do last time. Of course I was, but do you think I'd let the opportunity to rob an eccentric billionaire sail me by? Alas, it seems this Ernie Will actually has more sense than money. I be seeing tough robots everywhere he goes. And I don't mean those competitors, but his own private force of Rozzers. Who does he think he is, Dr. Wily? No, don't tell him. He'll just make things worse for everyone. Oh, I get the inflection now. So you've been lurking at this party while waiting for an opportunity? I couldn't care less about this tournament, outside of it bringing in a crowd of rubes for me Kaizox to pickpocket. I guess that's his enemy name. But while here, alright, I thought this exit was going to be more interesting. There's not enough Western thrown into this anymore. But while here, I just so happened to learn a thing or two about costumes. Things the shopkeeper ain't telling ye. You ever wonder why things feel different when you wear a costume? It ain't just people playing along. It's for deeper reasons. Uh-oh, he's becoming self-aware. Terminate him. And if you come to me while wearing one of them, I'll tell you the secret truth behind it. If I do, will you promise to stay out of trouble? All I'll tell you is this. It's the only way you'll be able to keep your eye on me. Secret truth of your certain Coco costume. Yeah, tell me about what this custom art is like. I can't tell what's standing in front of me. I ain't aware of this costume. This ain't in me script. That is the scripture of the ancient Mu continent, which I plundered lately. Didn't predict your appearance. Yeah, I wasn't foretold by gyromancy. Thanks. Truly, he be a mysterious enigma to all. Now bug off before you make a lesser mine go up like a sea mine. Excellent. Well, with that little aside out of the way, technical support. All right. I don't work in IT, but I can appreciate a little bit loud on the music department. Let me just tune that down a little. There we go. Turbinamo Man? He doesn't even know your lore, SMH. I don't even know my lore, so I can barely blame him, to be quite honest. This model doesn't have much lore. Hi, Crash. We're Turbo Man and Dynamo Man as one. We got a tip from a guy named Seversi that there's a trickster token in a warehouse just down there. Yeah, just imminently fall there. Have fun collecting the token. All hail Werg the Megatuber. Wonder if that can't be the person who made this. They didn't get a penalty for it. Huh. Alright, well, I mean, simple enough spark chaser trick, I guess. I wonder if that's going to be used throughout the rest of the level. Because, I don't know, that would be kind of a decent introduction to having to use that kind of gimmick, but also the fact that you can just ignore going to the left is maybe not a great way to introduce that gimmick as well. Oh, hello, Vaultman. Crash, thank goodness you've come. Our factory recently started to work bizarrely. Don't say bizarre. Not after yesterday. I think it has something to do with the main computer. You can fix it by using that machine over there. Do you want to know how it works? Yeah, sure, why not? Press the up button. Yes, there's a button with the arrow pointing up. Anyways, press it. That will transfer your programming data to the main computer. You'll be able to move freely inside it. Watch out, however, there might be aggressive programs inside. Good luck. Alright, virus busting time, but not disqualified. Exactly. Hello, hello, hello. Don't ask how we exist if this is the classic timeline and not the Battle Network timeline. Agreed. It is much more interesting to just accept what's going on. Use bad, eliminate. This doesn't look good. Destroy entity crash. Attack protocol engaging. Alright, I mean... you start out fast. Okay. That's because you have almost no health, that's why. Oh, okay. Multiple phases. Alright, that's a good way to make this boss a little bit more interesting. Although it is mostly just the same boss, again. There's nothing else in this room to make this Death Kit boss a little bit more interesting. That would be nice. Alright, hello, Swordy. You're going to be the Joe stand-in, I can tell. Okay, you're actually more of the Picket Man stand-in, but not nearly as tanky. Good. Alright. A nice adaptation of cannons. Well, I feel like at this point, if you're going to be reusing enemies from the actual classic series and repurposing them into, you know, their virus counterparts from Battle Network, it would have been maybe more appropriate to find something to turn into a Mr. Prog. Because not otherwise, Mr. Prog is kind of standing out like a sore thumb at the beginning. I mean, it's a shame that you use Vaultman to reintroduce things, because Vaultman at least has the two, like, little ears off to the side. You could have used him, colored him green, make those Mr. Progs. Okay, anything in this odd little nook? No? Just a way to shoot that platform? Okay. I'll take it. Oh wow, this little Game Boy character. I appreciate the attempt to do something different with the room by adding the explosive blocks, but they don't really add much. Just disable all of them and it's no longer a threat. Alright, well, a little bit repetitive in the aesthetics department for the tile set, but overall it's quite pleasant to look at, so it certainly has a little bit more identity than the last level, but I think that's just because it's green and not, you know, gray. Okay. I see you're getting a lot of mileage out of the these Game Boy shoot platforms. They aren't really contributing to much new. Setups are getting a little tiring. Oh, see, that would be cool to have a couple more windows to that 1 and 0's background. Just to break up this kind of, you know, grid monotony in the back. Supposed to be a puzzle here, but the creator had no idea how to make a good one. Whoopsie. Green, but thankfully not Airman's ultimate weapon green. Yeah. Yeah, true. I had kind of forgotten about that stage, but I'm glad you reminded me of it, because wow, that stage was green as hell. This one is just... Okay, we're now veering into green as hell. I know I was just saying, man, why wasn't there more of the 0 and 1 backgrounds? I think I see why. This is bright. I like the fact that the pop-up was introduced over a place where it's, not a pit, so that's good at least, but still almost always prefer a level without them entirely. Alright, just blast past you, that'll make things easier. These are very green, just different variations of it, true. Oh god, right, I vaguely remember that enemy from the Game Boy games. I thought that was custom for a second. Well, maybe it's not in the dev kit, but I thought that was completely custom for a second. Laser's down there. Please avoid at all costs. Laser up there. Also avoid at all costs. Oh, okay. A little bit fast, and a little bit not so generous with the shielding. I would have appreciated maybe one more block of leniency. Pretty easy to get past that one. Not good. Okay. Alright. One, I'm traumatized by the spinning lasers from Castle of Light and Dark. I really don't want to see them again. But I will say, this actually pulled off the aesthetic properly. The Castle of Light and Dark and the whatever the super turbocharged level where you had infinite ammo and double jumping was, just had them spinning kind of not properly around a source block. This one finally achieved the aesthetic that it should, and I'm proud of that. So kudos to the level designer for getting that right at least. Also, this wasn't used in an absolutely hellish way that made me want to pull my hair out, so good. Using the Yoku block SFX as part of the music. Yeah, that is, now that you pointed out, that is questionable. I'm not really, I'm obviously not, like, fooled or anything, but I could definitely see that being an odd choice. Where, some people use that as indicators for something happening, some people don't, so it's a confusing thing to choose. You could have all the sound effects in the world. Strange guy going down the ladder, maybe you should check that. Getting strong energy from him, you might have an energy element. Okay. Just make me replay 90% of the stage again, so that way I have to get a second energy element. Gotcha. Okay, so that way goes there. This way... Here's the bonus room. Welcome to Disc R. R stands for rest. Please talk to NPCs from left to right. Okay, you're the boss. What's your favorite level from MaGMML3? Personally, I like Ancient Tomb. It's just oozing with originality. I already, I mentioned in previous stream, I like Sheriff Man's stage. It doesn't have very much in the gimmick department, but the enemy challenges are very fun, the aesthetic is nice, and Sheriff Man is probably the best shield boss I've ever seen in a fan game, and has and bonus points, really cool dev weapon developed for it. So love me some Sheriff Man. Not need 2 elements. Yeah, it's pretty bad. Let's see. I think Why the Tower's better. Sure, there's not much level in it, but it has great bosses. Picked very rarely too. Besides, the author's nickname seems so familiar. Okay, well that's probably a penalty there. My favorite level is Yggdrasil. I love Nordic mythology references. What is our purpose anyways? We don't do anything here, yet we have to exist just to, I don't know, maybe for this facility to work? Well, you're clearly a slacker program. Oh hey, look, it's the Voltman program I was thinking of. Perfect. I'm glad that idea didn't completely slip away from the creator. Crashman, that's almost me. Flashman, Ashman, Dashman, Cashman, Slashman, Bashman, Stashman. There's so many of them. You forgot Smashman. I would help you in adventure, but I can't beat life. What? At least there aren't any gravity flips in the stage, unlike a certain other stage with that music. You like my costume? There's something weird about it, though. Ever since I started to wear it, I keep hearing voices in my head saying things like, join the Voltmen, obey the Hive Ming. Alright, I'm sending that to my friend Ming later. Assimilate until there are only us. Man, I really need to go to the doctor. Or should I say programmist, since I am a prog? You should say programmer. Game Grumps reference randomly. Oh, yeah, I stopped watching them a long time ago when I've gotten that. Well, that's actually fitting. It is coincidentally fitting that you ended up in the costume tier, so good for you, Mr. Prog. There's no spoon or knife or fork. Sure. 2 hearts, 3 spades, 3 diamonds. That's probably a code. So all 3 pieces of overused dead kit, royal flush, quint, volt, and camuso. Wait, what do you mean we're playing poker? I didn't know. Ways to collect what's called trickster tokens. Why not righteous rubies or dazzling dollars or even yummy yens? For beef's sake. Mr. Prog, you're PG-13. You can't say that. Some battle chips, for example, the Mega Cannon Y for only 4,000 zenny. I don't have zenny. Screws? Who uses screws as currency? It is a little messed up. Die from what you called trash. Damn. True. Oh, I can get hurt in a cutscene that I make for myself. Nice. Alright. Well, fun little diversion. Exactly what I would expect out of Battle Network. Like, that is perfect Battle Network flavor text for them to just incessantly go on about nothing. Oh, nice. Freezing sword. Okay, decent challenge if I actually were to take it on. Sortie plus conveyor belt. That's good. Oh, hey, look at that. The aesthetics are getting better, too. We have a nice window into the outside world here. Let in a little bit of light to this otherwise dark greens and yellows. Okay, no. This is a lot. I'm not doing this. That's 3 things to be actively dodging on a conveyor belt. I actually could use these tanks. Alright, let's see. Who are you gonna fight? Protoman EXE? That's my money. Ah, no. Vaultman. Oh, the Battle Network music. Nice. And it's so fitting that I've chosen the Battle Network sound effects for the text for my playthrough. Don't worry, Crash, I'm fine. I found out how to fix the factory core. Now just let me finish and go. And watch as everything goes according to Wily's Keikaku. Okay, dude's plan. Alright. Alright, good joke. I enjoyed that. As cheesy as it was. Oh, and even better follow-up joke. I have Darkman here. So this basically just is stock Darkman. Having something else in this room would have made it a little bit more interesting. But it is very fitting to end up having to beat up Darkman, considering that it's always the Dark Navies somehow. Always end up fighting a Dark Navi for some reason. Oop. Slightly stronger Darkman. And Dabman, too. Jeez. If I had a noble nickel for every robot master that dabbed in this competition, I'd have 2 noble nickels. It's not many, but it's weird that it happened twice. Alright, not too bad for Darkman. I mean, Darkman's never really that bad to begin with. Hey, you want to stay in one place for a couple seconds, my dude? That brown is a little bit hard to see against this background. It's not, that brownish red color. It's not the worst thing in the world, but I would have upped the contrast a little bit. Maybe at least give it a white outline. I have to implement everything I want in my level. You have 3 noble nickels. That's impossible. There's no way that you can have 3 robots masters dab in a level. That would be breaking some kind of rule, I'm sure. Alright, well, now time to backtrack again. Oh yeah, this is a little bit of an unnecessary fight. I guess it goes in with the theming of everything, but I would prefer not to have to fight 2 of the doozy cousins or whatever these things are called. At the the very beginning of the stage. Okay, you're not interested in Thunder Beam? Oh, Magnet Shockwave, easily, nice. Some bags almost had a robot master named Despacito, man, that would have dabbed on you if you perished with him. Oh my god. 4 dabbing robot masters? This is getting out of hand. Oh, right. Sorry. There's a lot of titles in this game. I don't think I'm probably going to remember. I can only remember the absolute worst and maybe the absolute best. I'm saving a little bit of memory for you know, tier 1 or tier 15. But yeah, no, sorry. Didn't you abbreviate? Is that an abbreviation of your level, or is that the level title? I feel like that was an abbreviation. I would have noticed that otherwise. I feel. Oh right, it is because your level title was the whole like thing about a whole bunch of random stuff that you just kind of put together. Okay, yeah, that's where the connection's missing in my brain. There we go. I wouldn't have put that together without the acronym. Or I wouldn't have put the acronym together. That's a clever one. I'll give you that too. I get the feeling that maybe it might have slipped by all the judges as well, considering they didn't make a comment about it. Oh, that's interesting. I'm finding all the chicken dance opportunities in this game. Alright, it's over here. Oh, and there's even a little icon for the pop-up enemies. That's good. Ace referenced it outright with patching Flashman versus bags of fun. Well, alright. There's unobservancy points for me. My bad. Still, love me a good acronym, a hidden acronym like that though, so kudos on that one. It was like 10 levels ago. Yeah, I suppose, but... Oh, no, Magnet Beam. Yikes. I suppose, but, you know, trying to keep up and... Trying to keep up, that I'm actually, you know, playing stages, remembering things, right? But... you know. Only so much in the brain. I don't remember 90% of MaGMML3 either. Like, I basically only remember Yggdrasil and Sheriff Man stage, and I guess the stage that nobody wanted, but outside of that, I don't remember basically any of the names. I need that E-Tank again. Alright. The beta name I used through most of its development was Am I Late to Submit to MaGMML2? That would have been a fun name. So to do something like that, you would definitely want to have explicit remixes of levels from MaGMML2. Basically put together a mini Wily maze. I think that would be the best possible use case for that level name. Alright, kind of a laser timing section. Not bad. Though also not really that much pressure. That was pretty easy to get through. Alright, down system core, please do not disturb. I will disturb it, thank you. Caught a virus, very aggressive, so I can't fix it. Remember the But the virus changed one variable in its code to -infinity or something. I wonder what that means. Hilarious, they gave the max late penalty if it was submitted on time. Yeah, that would be all too appropriate. Alright, well, these cannons didn't really do a whole lot, so that's unfortunate. Alright, this feels like an easier version of Serges's fight in X2 in the actual Doppler Castle. Which, I mean, I think that's kind of a good thing. The actual original fight isn't exactly too hard, but has a very weird kind of learning the blind spot curve to it, so. Yes, Serges tank from X2, exactly. Glad that we're thinking alike. Alright. Ideas on that stage. The custom aesthetics on the enemies and the references to the Battle Network series are very cute. I like the... I always like kind of half adaptations where it's like, okay, we're gonna stay with the, you know, one game's original style, but reference the other game really nicely. So I really enjoyed the aesthetic parts of that. The tile work on the stage and the backgrounds of 1s and 0s was good. The 1 and 0 background did get to be a bit bright at some points, and the otherwise regular tiles got to be a bit dull. So that's a hit to the aesthetics. Fun, I didn't really have very many highs or lows, so it was kind of just neutral through most of the stage, but, you know, there were fun aspects to it. It was competent. The gimmick usage felt maybe a little bit generic. Lasers and those GBA Game Boy shoot platforms, not all too much to them, I don't think. And they didn't really combine too much with the enemies. There was some creativity on the alternate path with the swordies and the treadmills. So that was good. But nothing, you know, revolutionary out of that. And then immediately after the first good use, kind of the second one went, well, we're going to have 3 projectiles coming straight at you while you're on this, so good luck. So yeah, I don't know. Gimmicks and enemies didn't really do too coherently together, but the aesthetics were cute, so I don't know. That's fine. If it was just my score alone, I feel like this would probably end up a little bit lower than where it currently is, just because it didn't really impress me in many directions, but, you know, fine. And then, yeah, also having 2 paths is just, right at the end there, is just strange. Recommend path is unnecessary. Level could have just used the Serges path, probably could have scored higher. Yeah, I mean, if you want to do something like that, just give the Darkman path, like, a token and a teleport to the Serges path. Like, that's all you gotta do. Let's see, a Battle Network classic level. No weirder than some of the stuff I've come up with. Enjoyed a little bit first. Aesthetic sold the digital nature. The binary C is a bit distracting. So there's a good Pikmin variant. Cannon Dome was slightly more useful than Tadaho. And Hardhead made an excellent shield cannon. Yep. Reasonably with its gimmicks. We get plentiful variety. Guts Hover gets some actual time to shine, even though it's only once. Yeah, a bit of a strange inclusion, but I suppose his original inclusion was a bit strange anyhow, too, so. Laser conclusion is remarkably fun. Particularly the chase sequence? I don't know about that one. It was pretty easy. The lasers are way too far behind to pose any real threat, in my opinion. Some of the levels could have been done better had they not had multiple elements. Yeah, definitely. Oh, they're good. They're doing away with that. Yeah, I don't think there's been any level in any competition that they've done so far that's been enhanced by having multiple elements. It just means that people have to replay the same bit of a level, at least part of the same bit of a level over again, or people are then going to make, you know, essentially multiple levels in one stage. It doesn't really, you know, there's a reason why Mega Man levels have one Robot Master to fight at the end of each one, and it's because it makes for good design. Let's see. Top it off with some decent boss fights. The level is almost great. Unfortunately, there are some sticking points. Little intro. Yeah, it's unnecessary. Why is there a weird platforming thing there? It's not necessary. It doesn't set you up for stuff. Yeah, Two-Face boss is a bit of a weird thing to start off with. It's weak, but still. First story was just fine. I don't like having them the minute have unrelated stuff. Agreed. Especially when there's a mandated replay. Implementation of multiple elements is awful. Awful. Oh, goodness. The individual segments aren't terrible. As I said previously, both bosses are pretty decent. But having to replay nearly the entire level just to get the second element, far too much. I understand the importance of replay value, but forcing it like this is annoying at best and made the second playthrough a complete slog. It's at least a fairly quick playthrough, I'll give it that, but it is still unnecessary. And the second playthrough, it's not enough to sustain it. Yep. I'll comment on the path to the club token. One of the sorties gets stuck in the wall continuously. It's a bit silly. Nothing giving much of help for the next stage, and I'm skipping it because it broke my brain. Alright, well, I'll test out the other side of my, you know, gaming abilities on that. Actual platforming, not too many memorable moments. Yeah, most of that stage is kind of a blur. Appreciate the effort to make the Pick-and Men into something less spammy and annoying. The sheer frequency of the swordy and hardhead enemies can really bog things down. Yeah, a little bit. Force beams moving back and forth. It was kind of cool, but ultimately it was just those like 3 rooms that had force beams, so it was a very weird, just kind of like, you know, tour through the laser computer, or laser comp, as I'm sure it would be abbreviated in the Battle Network. Oh, actually, that would make for a pretty fun Battle Network themed level. If you want to do multiple things, multiple like flavors of gimmicks, you would just have people go through like, okay, you're teleporting through like laser comp, and then destruction comp, and then rock comp, or something like that. And it's like, oh, okay, it's all themed a little bit. That'd be cool. It's easily the most engaged part on the stage, offering a decent challenge. Force beam race leading up to the main boss is a bit less threatening, a lot less threatening. Welcome break. Certainly enjoyed the position-based challenge there. Well, there's a telegraph to their presence found on the tiles and the sections they appear in. It's very easy to miss. Yeah. I didn't notice the tiling indicator the second time through, until the second time through, because it was just so green. One instance of up and downs emerging from spikes rather than pits. Yeah, that wasn't fun. 2 end bosses. Honestly, would have preferred it if the split with the bosses occurred earlier in the level. Agreed. Or there's just one boss. The core boss is basically a weak imitation of the square machine from Rockman 4 MI. Oh, yeah, well, if only I would have remembered that. As for the slight Darkman edit, I found it to be relatively decent. Yeah, no major issues. Few good ideas in here. But yeah, not super creatively used. I should know what any of that meant. Never played Battle Network, unfortunately. Oh, wow, you're missing out. You really should. Maybe skip number 1. I would recommend, if you wanted to start up Battle Network, I would recommend probably 2 or 3 as a starting point. That's a solid point. That's not too late in the series spoilers kind of situation. 1 is a little rough to start off with. Battle Network 4 is genuinely not good. I would not recommend that game ever. 5 is strange but enjoyable, and 6 is my favorite, but at that point it's like, well, you're playing the final entry in the entire series, so, you know, unless you don't care about spoilers whatsoever, just, you know, don't play 6 first. Turning it on and off again, the humor of the stage didn't sit well with me. Maybe I'm just becoming a grumpy old man. I won't dwell on that one room in this review. I feel like certain other judges will give it a good mouthful. What? One room? I don't recognize it. None of them stood out that badly, besides the split path. About Star aesthetics are also really fun. The reskins are really cute. Move hover usage is quite fine. The gut solver is the one-off. And defense system boss at the beginning does way too much contact damage and moves too fast to reasonably avoid it. Yeah, it gets out of hand. Split path, kind of junk. Darkman 4 here is just Darkman 4 with the damage buff. Color change is a neat reference to darkman.exe. Oh yeah, Dark Man XE does do that. I mostly just remember him for the bats, but I guess he does change color. I'm gonna say just Steaming, I can't forgive the dabbing though. Yeah. If it's gonna start Battle Network, I'll probably just play them in order. Fair enough. Did not have a good time with 0-1. 0-1 is an odd beast. I honestly, 0-1... Well, hold on. I'll get through this and I'll give my opinions of 0-1 a little later, because I'll have more to talk about when playing through stuff. There's a lot of good ideas, they never come together to form a completely cohesive whole. Wish I could have been a playtester. Almost every screen has a little something that can be tweaked or improved. Oversights that should have been caught in testing. Music looping. Break dash, invincibility. Ooh. Hard crash if you died at Dark Man's barrier attack. Well, I'm glad they fixed that, probably. With the excuse to cross over with Battle Network, the reskin enemies look like what they're supposed to. This choice is good. Indoor windows toward the end. Yeah, there could have been more of them in the beginning. The theming could go farther, though. Battle Network has more interesting locations than repetitive green building. Fishy, windbox, yeah. You fix the computer by destroying the system core? I don't know. It seems to work out for, you know, MegaMan.exe. He mostly just blasts things, and then, like, Lan is like, wow, the system is working again. Crazy. So, like, it's on brand. Dark Man seems irrelevant to the plot. He would have made a better token guardian. It's obnoxious to replay almost the entire level. Yeah, it is. Challenge progression breaks down once you choose his path, conveyors, and text now. Hunter mini boss is good. Some of the asset introductions are done well. Move hover, up and down warning signs are smart. Place checkpoints are fine. Some of those putting in pity party signs. Oh, I wanted this, but I ran out of time. Don't. Okay, like, yeah, I agree. It's maybe not the best, but it's not worth a rant. The announcement Mr. Products get rather tedious really quickly. Oh, somebody was in a sour mood when they were reviewing this stage. Fallen Vibes Zoom, that's full of the green gets, is probably responsible for killing comedy dead as an art form. Jeez, okay. Do you think this level starts off on a bad foot? A little bit. Highlights, Battle Network enemies are cute. There are generally some fun moments here and there, some interesting setups. These are force beams. It's novel. Yeah, I think the shoot to move platforms on the 4th Game Boy is pretty good use here. Hover enemies can insta kill via crushing. Yep. Not what I'd call great, but certainly acceptable and often beyond the bare minimum that you'd expect. The fact that these show up for a single room just makes it a little sloppy. Up and down positionings are just brutal. I wouldn't say just brutal, they're just typical. Shoot number of shielded enemies, take it to pacing. Gun wall boss, I gotta say, it doesn't really work, but I can see what you're going for with some more time and polish placed here rather than actually doing some of the more pointless additions to the stage. Yeah, the 2 elements. Okay, A-Spark. Guys, you even bother with it? Seriously? Yeah, that's fair. Alright. Well, that was extremely salty, even for him. 0-1 actively shaming the player for using Cyber Elves, but being the hardest thing ever if you don't use any of them. Just left a bad taste in my mouth. Final boss was hell for me. Yeah, no, X is a hell of a boss for 0-1. It's crazy. It's like literally the hardest boss in the entire series that they start you off with. Like it's kind of bullshit to be the conclusion for the first game, but to be late about green checkered paradise, the wind of my antennas, sound of waterfalls, speed when I get from rolling down slopes, but then seeing everything looks so blocky, am I right? I mean, to a certain extent, every 0 game shames you for using Cyber Elves. They maybe don't quite, I'm pretty sure 0-1 maybe gets a little bit more shameful with the rank names, but like, you know, the other games also have this very confused identity, and I always hated the Cyber Elf implementation in every single 0 game. They tried something different with almost every one, and it's just, it never worked. They never landed on something that was actually, like, solidly good, and it's just, it makes the thing so awkward. And the fact that almost always using them results in penalties. It just, I don't like it. Those tokens aren't just reflections, are they? I tried getting them legitimately, but mirror puzzles bear on highs. One token, I swear you never find out the compass. No, I'll try it out. Your gimmicks can be very disorienting. Many cause headaches or motion sickness. It's a long level 2. At least one judge felt unwell. You'll see some examples in the room to the right. I hate halls of mirrors. And oh, you're a new one. Hi. An overeager NPC in this level hints that there might be a costume unlock for defeating a hidden mini-boss. Sorry, but there is no costume. They just got their hopes up. Shame, really. I could have used a costume. Okay. 04. 04 just give you one. It did everything. The game didn't guilt you for using them. Yeah, it didn't, which was good. I would say that 04 probably maybe has the most competent use of the elf system to actually... okay, there's a lot of... Interesting. It probably has the most competent usage. Oh. Did I find another chicken dance? How did I do that? Alright, well, I won't be able to do that. 04 has the most competent usage, I think, of the elf system, but it is still just this kind of, like, I don't know, grab a couple and just roll with it. I guess it's nice that you just have a pretty simple way to permanently upgrade like that, but I don't know. To me, it just felt a little off still. But yeah, I don't know. Elves felt bad in all of them, to be quite honest. And then I definitely was not a fan of the ranking system originally. Like, I dislike being ranked in games or just trying to play them the way I want to play them. So it's understandable that, like, that would get annoying very quickly. But it's also, like, even worse in the Zero series, in my opinion, because it's just kind of like, well, I don't... Either I, A, don't have to give a shit about, you know, how many L's I'm using, because the ranks are completely pointless in 2 of the games, or I am going to completely give every shit about them because I'm trying to go for, like, super S rank stuff. So, like... I don't know, either you use all of them or you use none of them. Like, there's no point in only using, like, a few of them. Okay, what the hell? Huh, okay, no real reason for this part to be mirrored, but sure. The ring system was enjoyable, I ended up ignoring it most of the time. Yeah, I ignored it on my first playthrough. I got that recommendation, and it was the right one, to just not care about it on the first playthroughs of the Zero series. Yeah, no, it is absolutely extremely frustrating, a part of it. But as far as actual gameplay is concerned, I actually really enjoyed 01 for the sense that, like, even if you're going to, okay, you were making a fake pit. Gotcha. One nice thing about 01 and its elves is that they don't completely just trivialize... I wasn't looking at it. They don't just completely trivialize the games, in my opinion. Like, in 02, if you just don't care about your rankings, and, like, yeah, you won't get the EX skills, but also, like, the elves are literally so fucking good in that game that you have nothing to worry about. I didn't die in Mirror World. Okay, I guess it doesn't matter. Like, the fact that you could just basically quadruple your health in 02, and then also, like, have spike immunities, and, not spike immunities, but heavy spike resistance, and just, like, all the double jumping you want in the world. Like, you can have everything you want, and you're never going to miss the EX skills. Not one bit. It's just, I don't know, it's kind of dumb. Okay, what's going on here? So there's a pit right in front of me. There's these 3 invisible blocks. There's a shield attacker right there. Everything here is fake except for the invisible blocks. Alright. I didn't move fast enough. Okay, well, fair enough. I should get a new one for getting a good rank. I'd use it, but I wasn't going out of my way to grind tanks to get forms. Oh, grind ranks to get forms. Yeah, it's not... And then most of the forms, too, in the Zero series are not good. Like, that's one of the things that definitely makes the Zero series, as much fun as some of them are, That's one of the things that really makes the Zero series, like, lower ranking in my mind, is just the fact that, like, there's just so much bloat. Like, it has the X5 problem of, like, here is just a bazillion things you can slap onto Zero, and most of them don't even really affect the game that much. And then the ones that do, like, some of them are, like, god tier meta shifting. But it's just... And then, like, but the worst part is that 90% of them are just, like, they're just plain half-baked. Like, they don't make any sense with what the game is actually going for. Okay, so let's shift that back. Like, they just don't make sense, or it's like they actively work against each other. Like, we already talked about, like, all the L's work against getting, like, you know, all the forms or all of the EX skills. Like, it's just not worth it. It sucks. It's just disappointing that they're all so contradictory. You can't really enjoy everything on a playthrough unless you're, like, you know, you go and grind and get ultimate mode, and then you can, you know, be cannon power 0, but it's like, I don't know. So, I think the actual game design tends to be very off in that. And then also the fact that once you superpower yourself up, like, literally there's no reason to, once you superpower yourself up and say, like, you are on, like, you know, god tier run of, like, okay, I'm getting all A ranks or all S ranks, I'm getting all of the, you know, forms and super moves and everything like that. You can just combo your way through a boss in, like, 10 seconds. Like, there's... Hell, even less than that. Like, there's basically no incentive to actually learn the boss pattern outside of, like, okay, how quickly can I combo this thing so I don't have to deal with it anymore? It's a shame. Same reason I ignore the level 4 victory conditions ZX games. At least those are easier to grind out. Like, there's maybe a little bit of a reason to do so. Still. Okay, that is a little bit... Oh, wait, no, I don't actually have to go all the way down there to try to shoot it. I can just do that. Okay. A lot more reasonable. Okay, I haven't recognized it yet, or verbally recognized it. It is a very cool use of those sunflower enemies, but, like, damn if it isn't disorienting. Alright. Oh, well, that was a little pissy jump. I could have done a lot better there. And Zero games rip a character away that you love, used based on RNG. Used based on RNG, that it has that over the X5. Oh yeah, absolutely. Like, I really enjoy. I did not enjoy the Zero games very much on the first playthrough, but upon repeated playthroughs, I came to appreciate them. And yeah, I would play any Zero series game over X5 or any X series game, honestly, in a heartbeat. It is just a shame that maybe some ideas could have used some more time in the oven. But I would say overall, probably 04 is my favorite. I think it's just nice that you don't... I think it's nice that they went back to 01's mentality of, yeah, the rankings are just completely worthless and for style only. So you don't have to really bother with them to get the full experience out of the game. You can just, you know, use the weather system, and it's like, okay, this is fine. I can play with this. And I think there was the least amount of bullshit bloat that I was complaining about as well. Like, the ideas that were there, they actually worked well with each other. So, that it also had that going for it as well. And there's a token I missed at some point. Oh, well. My favorite between 02, 03, and 04. 01's my least favorite. It's understandable. There's elements of 01 I definitely dislike, though I would say it is probably my second favorite. I think 02 or 3. 02 or 3 is definitely my least favorite. I'd have to play it a little bit more to think about it. But yeah, for me, it's 02 and 3 just have all that unnecessary bloat factor to it, so it's just kind of like, this weighs the game down a lot for me. And then plus the fact that the rank system is, like, mandatory for full enjoyment, not really my thing. I prefer to have it as a challenge. Just a personal challenge, you know. This is a cool little mini boss. I get that it's using a bunch of things from previous Mega Man games. I like that. And the sprite work is very good as well. Also doesn't help that 02 just has some of the most brutal difficulty in the entire series. Is not a very fun game to play at times. Anything else on this screen? Okay. Alright, and then we have this enemy doing something. Anything else extra here? Okay, seems a little weird to have invisible nothing on the mirror side. He's not doing much. Okay. These laser sides didn't really... These didn't do too much for each other. I feel like I'm missing something here because there's not too much. 02 is easier compared to the rest? Really? No, I definitely feel differently about that. 02 had a lot of, Oh god, now reverse gravity too? Okay, I'm starting to feel a little bit sick playing this. And this is just a slightly different setup now too. Okay. Let's see, when I'm thinking of, 02 things I didn't like, I think all of the usage of the, Yay, another chicken dance! I think all of the usage of the, what is it called again? The stupid grappling thing, why can't I think of it right now? The one that changes every single Zero game. I don't know why I can't think of the name right now, but the stupid grappling hook thing. That thing was used way too much. Chain rod. Yeah, the chain rod in 02 just got way too much usage and didn't help that it was kind of janky half the time. I'm pretty sure it was because the Japanese version was really janky and just sent you through walls all the time, but I would have preferred that over the English version where it's just yeah, you don't get to have fun because it doesn't register up close hits very well. It kind of makes it really hard to platform through certain segments of the frog with the funny names stage, and with the infamous giant pits, and Heckle Burbalot. Yeah, that guy. Or Burble Heckalot. One of the two. That was annoying, and then also getting through some of the final screens, or the I guess the Neo Arcadia segments, also pretty annoying to have to deal with. And then not to mention Neo Arcadia does, if you're not using the aforementioned billion health elves and spike immunity things, Neo Arcadia does have a lot of instant death. It gets pretty brutal for the triple and recoil rods over it. Yeah, exactly. It also helps too that the chain rod is just kind of the weakest of the three. It had the potential to be really cool, but then also another thing I didn't like about 02 is the fact that it kind of has the Joe issue of these things are just constantly invincible. It's not too bad in the first half, but the second half of the 02, there's just a ton of shielded enemies. It gets really obnoxious really quickly. A lot of things that you can't really just quickly take out with, Zero's skill set, and that just makes the games annoying to play, in my opinion. You need to, there's certainly a fine balance to be stricken between enemies that you can cut down without thinking and enemies that are actually presenting a challenge. But I don't know, a lot of the enemies in that game just slowed the pacing way down, and then also were combined with tricky platforming or tight lava buckets to be dodging. Not my favorite. Although then the actual bosses of Neo Arcadia are pathetic, so that's also a very weird difficulty curve. You'd think that all the alternate forms of the of Fairy Leviathan and, you know, the Zero Hunters or whatever would be more interesting, but alas, they aren't really. Ugh, this is sickening to fight on that motion sickness level. Have to do the remix of the Zero. Start after Devil May Cry. That would be something. Oh yeah, that would be cool though to have like a, I dare say, 3D Zero game. That might actually be very interesting. And then one with a, you know, more modern combo system. I wasn't really quite super into doing the combo stuff. It just never really clicked for me to like, without something actively telling me in-game like what combo number was something and that I could lead into another thing, I didn't really vibe with it very much. It's ironically, I actually vibe with hard mode in the Zero series a lot more for that reason, because I don't have to bother with most of the charging and the combos. The only ones that exist are very simple or they don't exist at all, so I don't have to think about them. And I like that a lot, actually. Plus, then you also don't end up with the problem of, oh god, I can just ignore every boss's pattern and just combo them to death from zero death. Like, who cares, you know? Okay, this seems like bonus and a half. Don't have the worst time with visual gimmicks usually. This only have a brain melt out of my ears. Yeah, I wouldn't say my brain is quite melted, but I do feel my stomach slowly starting to turn, though. Immediately, just having reverse gravity always makes a gimmick a lot more difficult to process. I don't know why you would choose to do so together. I guess I can go over here for some bolts. Anything over here? No. Was that ceiling a bit short? That ceiling felt a bit short to me. Okay. Alright, cool. Just accidentally solved the puzzle. Does not help that there's a lot of moving parts right now. There could use to be some fewer moving parts. Do we really need the crash platforms moving around on this segment? I don't think so. I thought I dodged it, but nope. It's a shame because the aesthetics and the ideas here are really nice, but wow, this is too much for a human being to comprehend at once. Okay. Alright, and there's just a devious spike down there. That's kind of evil. I hope there's nothing for not triggering the blue wall up here. Okay, no. It's fine. I'm gonna post puzzle levels. Hell, there's a really good one later on tier 9, but yeah, no, this is vomit-inducing. Alright, do I just fall off into the ether? Yes, I do. Okay. Nothing up there. For an E-tank? No, that's not worth it, especially given the economy of E-tanks in this game. I forgot that there was another gimmick level. I just thought that was blank space. Alright. Doing this upside down. This is miserable. Also, wait a minute. Why here? The screen's this is the only screen so far where the invisible or where the Yoku blocks don't have a tell in the background. That's a visual inconsistency. Alright, I can at the very least play by just looking at the mirrored version. That's fine. Height jump, okay. Spikes provide some necessary, but just a little too much pressure. Since at the beginning of the stage, you have to fight an upgraded version of the mini-boss to claim it. Well, that's probably the one that I missed. If I haven't missed more already, which I completely could see that I already have. We're a little bit too far, or at least what I think is too far into the stage to be having only one token, being the second one. Well, I'm wishy-washy out here making a Mega Man little fifth-dimensional cosmic beings. Only real star droids can actually solve this. Maybe with a little bit of an Eldritch Pact as well. Right. I do like the calm puzzles here. I can work with upside down mirror reflection logic if I don't have to constantly be thinking about where everything is. Oh, it doesn't actually go up high enough to hit that corner. That's unfortunate. Do this, though, to not be able to grab the W tank. Alright, screw it. It's just a W tank. I don't need it. I don't need it. I don't need it. No, no, don't make more fake mirrors. Thank you. Okay, wait a minute. So I would say that the level is maybe obviously funneling me up there. Although that also looks like a pit. Is this a pit? This is a pit. Okay. It could have been a split path. Okay. Didn't expect to have to be thinking so much this late at night. Okay, so I want to shoot it here. No, not there. Okay, maybe... just here? Okay. Now that'll get me... I can now jump over the pit. And then just shoot in the same spot. Alright, and be out of there. Alright, now we're back in these rooms again. Oh, I could take advantage of the mirror to attack that guy. Good. Yeah, no, it's a shame. The graphics are really pretty here, but like, oh, barf city on the gimmicks. And there's not really much of a point to the mirror world on this side either, so I guess okay. Now we're back at the beginning, sort of the beginning of the stage. I don't even know at this point. Okay, so it blasted him. Can't quite jump high enough to do that on my own. Could wait until maybe another gravity flip, and then I could probably get this the legitimate way, but I'm not risking missing out on a token due to weird gimmicks, so just grab that now. Okay, and the more invisible blocks. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, this might actually be the first level of the first screen of the stage, now that I'm trying to think of it. Or at least the mirrored version. Okay, so I need to get my way over there, shoot the blue switch, move over, get onto the next invisible block platform, and then slide my way over. Okay. Okay, I probably need to lead my shot here. There we go. And just move past the copy Mega Man. Good. Alright, a little busy with the big guy here to focus on the plant. Alright, oh, okay, and I remember this. This is the setup from the very beginning of the level where it looked like there was a boss door. Gotcha. Okay, well, that's creative aesthetically at the very least. Which this level is nothing if not creative aesthetically. Oh, a little gravity flip. Okay, Time to actually face off against Mirror Man. Okay, alright. I like there's a kind of a reference to, the Kirby mirror ability. Yeah, there's one big reference to the Kirby mirror ability, except for this kind of send out a mirror and shoot at it attack. I enjoy that quite a bit. It's even got the same kind of hand-wavy animation. It's got the splitting up. Nice. I could do without the Centaur Flash sound effect, though. That's hurting my ears. I feel like that's a common theme in the MaGMML3 contest for some reason. For some reason, sound effects are just extremely loud in this game. Or at least they have the potential to just be extremely loud coming off of enemies and such. Alright, I'm getting the feeling charge shots may not be the way to go here. Unless I want to have just a nice opening, because you are vulnerable for a while and they don't do very much damage. And maybe playing defensively is a little bit better, which I guess makes sense against a mirror enemy. But I want you defeated now. Hey, you recovered a little bit for your second phase. Don't think I didn't hear that. Alright, fun boss fight at the very least. Oh, man, I missed 3 tokens in that one? Jeez, okay. That'll be a lot to go and find. Audio balance, man. True. They'll go back and neutralize everything. Oh, that would actually be great. That way you could keep some of the audio screw-ups in here, but then have another one to talk to. Okay, yeah. So, let's see. I'll try and take a look for some of these. Tokens. Can I transition back onto this screen? I can. Okay, so that's probably what you're talking about. Backtrack to the beginning of the level. Just need to switch it off first. Okay, that's the first switch I can access. Cool. I'll go back this way. Ow. Alright, that's entertaining. Again, another... How do I keep finding all the chicken dances in this game? Speaking of annoying sounds, my god. I guess that's one way to discourage the player from using Laser Trident, even though it's the best thing in the entire game. Okay, well, I appreciate at least the one pointer. I mean, I don't know where everything else is, so I'll just search like everything else. Okay, wishy-washy, oh my god, let you crash. Yeah, I know, I'm such a huge fan. Honored, you must be one of the, 20 subscribers. I mean, everyone making simulations is, suppose that... It's all a moot point. It's Mega Man, the real genuine deal, that's for an autograph, but cruel fates. Lines of assembly code in the shape of perfection. Oh well, regardless of the teleport to your left will take you to a modification of VtuberEN that my partner in crime hooked up. Who knows? Even a dead room at the end, and simulation festival organizers depending an achievement and maybe one of those cool costumes. Oh yeah, the thing that doesn't actually happen. Hopefully one of me. Gavin can have a costume for people with fuzzy persuasion, and so shall I. Teleporter will take you back to the abandoned amusement zone as a bit of a shortcut to Mirror Woman. This was Mirror Woman? Oh, I must have misread the title. Dastardly narcissism. By the way, I deny all accusations that I made a sentient robot master for the purpose of helping me do my makeup in the morning. That'd be ludicrous. Mirror Woman was totally built for helping harvest solar energy with the... Okay, this goes on and on and on. Sure. Okay, great. Yeah, sure, let's go to the dev path. Why not? No. That's fair. You can't just ask the devs to commission you for one. Otherwise, you know, I would have made a level and done the same thing. Alpha has a strong version of VtuberEN. Be warned, as it's designed for skilled MaGMML players. You can also acquire better rewards if you choose to defeat this mini-boss under certain restrictions. Defeating the boss using its weakness, 100 bolts. Defeating the bosses using special weapons other than its weakness, 200 in E-tank. Defeating the boss with a buster, 500 in M-tank. Okay. Let's get an extra life at the end. Well, I mean, doesn't really matter for this, but sure. Alright, we could do Buster only. This can't be too bad. Guess I have to get a little bit sneaky about my shots. Okay, that is a little brutal, though. Alright, well, there's no actual, pretty sure they said there was no token there, so screw that. Which I thought the entries, maybe we need a yapping man as well. Yeah, that would be a good warning. Just be like, hey, you might not need to read all of these text boxes. You have better things to do. We can put a plot summary over here for those who are impatient. Oh, that was close. I almost died to just stupid ignorance and impatience right there. I don't mind levels necessarily being that heavy in dialogue, but it's just like some of them... For the levels that do just go on, why do some of these blow up and some of them not? The levels that do just go on and on and on, it's like, okay, I don't have the patience to read anything anymore. And then also, I don't know what was up with that pony. She just kept fucking talking. Oh, okay. Okay. I get it. There's probably a token in this room on the other side. You just have to recognize that the obvious hull transition isn't there. So that's why you should cross with the E-tank block. And that's why the disappearing bricks are here, in case you want to play that memory game. Okay. Spark Notes, man. It'd just be a simple edit of Spark Man, where he'll just have a book in front of him. Be like, hello, I decided to go back to college in between the time of Mega Man 3. I'm now well learned. I can summarize anything for you. That feels like it could be a bad joke in in one of these levels. Like you could have an entire level revolving around Spark Notes. Sparkman giving you notes for things. Just call me Spark Notes, man. Haha. You're just writing notes like he's scrolling for a final. In his current state, I don't know if Sparkman honestly could be taking the notes. Doesn't really have the appendages for it. Okay, what's your weakness? I don't need to be fighting you again. -2. What the fuck? You could assign negative damage values to things in this? This stinks. Alright, come on. I have at least an idea where one more token is. I don't know where maybe the other one is necessarily. Probably somewhere in right after the level goes insane and upside down. I had to guess it to be anywhere else. It's also just kind of weird that halfway through the level, all of the lines for the Crashman platforms just completely disappear. I don't know why that is. Doesn't seem like they would be a huge hindrance. If anything, they would be helpful to the player. Alright, thanks, Eddie. I actually needed one of those. Grow up masters without functional hands can apply for disability. I don't know. Probably not. In a world where they currently get scrapped after being, you know, a certain age, they probably... I doubt that there's like a, you know... accessibility for robots law that exists out there. They're probably just like, well, I don't know. You're useful for the power plant, right? We'll keep you around for that, but you don't get to, you know, enjoy the appendaged world of human beings. What robot master's like in the sorriest state of just having nothing else? Who's the least humanoid robot master out there? They have it rough. Their access man, you can transform into a ramp. You better watch out. Your ideas are getting dangerously close to parody fan game level. You might have to start making a full fan game with, you know, parody robot masters soon enough. Wait, get me elect beam. I don't want to do this again. Already done it once. Alright, there we go. Fun bags, 750 screens with 750? Holy hell. Yeah. You make one more fun bags, and then you just decide, okay, now I will cut it down. Actually, oh, wait a minute, hold on. Maybe there was... That's why there's just this one odd room with all the bolts in it on this playthrough. Maybe I already missed my opportunity for the third token. This has all the question marks in it too, but it's a different question mark room. Programming so it isn't mega jank. Yeah, good luck with that. Okay, maybe... Alright, I'll go ahead and get the fourth token. Or what I think the fourth token is. But I'm pretty sure this is where the second one is somewhere. If I were to just fall in the screen where it starts to get a little bit crazy with the gimmick usage. Okay, I probably just respawn that guy. Okay, no, good. Okay, well, I fell anyways. Excellent. Anything fun for falling down here? Or is it just death? Oh, it's just going back to this screen. Okay. Alright. Almost done with this brain-melting shenanigans. It's just easier to die there and respawn than actually make the jump, which is... I don't know. I guess that's courteous level design. Still a bit odd. Okay, so I have to jump my way over here now. The jumps aren't actually that bad. Fucking Captain Falcon world record death attempt right there. Just walk straight off the screen. I'll be seeing more levels today, but I forget I skipped this one. Didn't realize there's a 45-minute slugfest to get through. Yeah, I will say this is less of a slogfest for me, just because it's making me use my brain a little bit more rather than just like overloading my like dexterity. Like that was the bigger problem for me playing through the JoJo level. Because it was just like, okay, after a bit, it's like, I know what I'm doing, I just really have to take all the time in the world to execute it. This one, at the very least, I'm using my brain a bit, and even though it's a little bit nauseating, it's certainly making me think a little bit more and keeping me engaged. With the JoJo one, eventually my brain was just turning off and I was getting frustrated. I guess it also helps too that like this level did one good thing by not loading itself with just instant death everywhere. That would have completely sank the level. There's a lot of spikes and a lot of fits, but it's manageable enough to where you can take the level slowly and not just be constantly impaled on pits or impaled on spikes and wishing, you know, a comical death while falling down an Acme-sized pit. Okay, do this. Alright. Shouldn't be too hard to get back to that third token room. I'm a little split on if I enjoy the fact that the tokens are hinted at through the kind of question mark rooms or not. Like, I think I definitely am cool with the fourth one that I just picked up being hinted at through the question mark room. It makes sense to maybe, you know, someone might reasonably telegraph that or understand that. But this third one, it's a little bit harder to tell, especially because, like, human beings are not used... Well, okay, maybe Americans are not used to recognizing upside-down question marks. So, or general English speakers, which is, you know, the primary audience for this game. So it's, like, something I'm not probably going to recognize. To get that third token, and then maybe being like, oh, well, wait a minute, the bullshit secret room is actually in the main world, not the mirror world. There's MaGMML3, this MaGMML got a DQ just because I don't think I could finish this. I mean, fair enough. There's... The fact that this is the first level with Motion Sickness Man to actually make me a little queasy is really saying something. This is a bit rough to play on the old brain. Okay, so I was supposed to be able to fall down here somewhere. Maybe I can look for any particular changes in the pits. Maybe not. There doesn't seem to be any difference. I just start throwing myself down and just seeing how it works? Guess so. That seems a little bit tedious, but... I guess that's what we signed up for, huh? Okay. Brain's starting to turn off a little bit. We're getting to that point in the stream. We just surpassed, after I was just saying about how engaged my brain was, we just hit the point where my brain's starting to turn off. Exactly, like that again there. Brain completely off. No thinking about dying to the same spot twice. Maybe if I do it a third time, it'll be different. Okay, just start playing in Mirror World again. It's a lot easier when you're just paying attention to the mirror only. Okay. Do that. Go through here. Start throwing myself down pits again. No, thinky. Brain hurty. Need lack of concentration, man. Being like, dude, if you can't focus on this level's puzzles, like, you're not gonna make it through whatsoever. I'd recommend skipping this one. Okay, is that background mirror supposed to be the indicator? No, it's just another pit. Alright, excellent. Maybe it's that there's supposed to be a ladder I should grab. That's probably it. There's probably an invisible ladder to grab. Because that's how I transitioned onto that screen, at least properly. Blast through these guys. Make an annoying noise, just so that way this is even more of a pain in my ass. Oh, right, the invisible ladder's probably up here. That's why I can actually access this. There it is. Oh my god. Okay. Are you fucking kidding me? You expect me to remember where everything was from the last time? Especially when there's also some death spike screens on this? That's bullshit. Okay. Alright. That immediately brings down some of the points. Would bring down the design points for me. That's terrible. Like, yes, there was some memorization aspects to the previous one. It was not nearly to that extent. That is just an egregious level of memorization expected. Yeah, exactly. No. Not the screen from 30 screens ago. The screen from 15 screens ahead. Do you have foresight? Man, I sure hope so. Imagine just being the weirdo who accidentally stumbles into that by just pressing up in random locations. Imagine being so confused over that. That's not cool. You can't just do that to people. Okay, so now I know just walking all that way was death. Yeah. Sometimes throwing randomly specifying token, the level certainly has some kind of issue. Fucking... This way? No. This way? Hold on. This is going higher than before. I know I'm gonna jump into that ceiling spike eventually. Oh, right, and that was where... Okay. We're seeing a future sight. Psychic powers to realize it's there. I don't remember which one you might be complaining about, because I know I found all of them on my first try. There was one that I missed like 6 times, and the only reason I found it was because I kept dying on the enemy spam final screen. It was that third token. It is ludicrously well hidden. That wall is very hard to notice. It's like cracked, but and the other two, you know, I got them. Oh, okay. Thanks, Laser Trident. Second token, you need Rush Jet to get... Oh, yeah, that one, yeah, you do need a little bit of clairvoyance to just feel out that that one's there in the first place. I mean, it's not cool that they're making you use, you know, utilities that heavily in the first place, but such is life. Okay. So you won't realize it's there until after you fall down the pit. Right. I noticed that there was something I should explore there just fast enough to be able to reset before I got stuck at the checkpoint. So I didn't have too miserable of a time with it, but it definitely, yeah, it was irritating to have to grab there. Okay. I'm getting pretty close to just pulling up my own stream and looking at where this was. Play the first half a little bit, yeah. Yeah, actually, you know what? I'm gonna finally do the streamer's privilege. I'm gonna take a look at my own stream so that way I can actually look at just what the hell this level looked like in the this room looked like on the other side. There's no way I'm going to bother doing this. Okay, so let's see. Where were we in time ways? That's technical support. That's moving on to the next stage. Here's the mirror world. Okay. That's me falling repeatedly. Okay, just got past the boss. The reversed mini-boss. If I just scroll back a couple seconds here. Okay, there's the layout. Okay, that's bullshit. There's only 2 mirrors in the, there's only 2 mirrors in the reverse world. Okay, so hold on. I climbed up, and if I was able to slide over to the right and die to the E-tank... Am I upside down? Upside down? There's supposed to be a ladder here somewhere? This is hard to parse even with the assistance of this. Okay, so I'm over there. That's probably okay. That's probably solid floor. Can I just put? Let me pull up a screenshot of this so that way I can actually just also put it on stream too. We can all take a look at it together. Let's see. Open up paint here. Alright, bear with me as I pull up a screenshot for this mind-bending puzzle. Expand the canvas here, cut that, file, save. Okay, now I can pull it up in OBS. Let's see, add an image. Image, mirror. Okay, browse this, go to the downloads. Alright, okay. Okay, so this is what we're working with here. I'm going to just cover up the chat here for a second. Okay. So that's the inverted mirror room that we're dealing with. So I think that means I'm somewhere all the way over on the left where that ladder takes me into the screen. If I now move this way, get to the middle, that's where this gap is. And so past before the mirror is where that spike is. So I need to slide under the mirror there. Okay, alright. Hold on, we're putting this together. I'm having my fucking galaxy brain moment. We're going to do this on the next one. I'm pretty sure I understand the layout now. I just need to put them side by side for this actually be interpretable. This is the first level that requires a PhD in Mega Man to actually solve. It's ridiculous. This is ridiculous. Oh. At the very least, though, it's the point of this is so ridiculous, I'm having fun with it again. It's looped back around to this is insane. It's the same sick pleasure that, you know, we both can get out of playing X6 meme, where it's like, yeah, this is just fucking cuckoo bananas bonkers. Like, this is actually the most fun thing I could be doing. Okay, so slide there, get rid of him. Okay, so now we're over all the way on the right side of the flipped image. So if I jump here, that's ceiling. If I jump here, there should be a hole. There we go. Okay. Master's degree, 20 years experience, John Carmack on standby to understand this level. Well, I have one and a half of those things, so we're on our way. Okay, so now I've climbed the ladder all the way up. And now, at least this room this little sub-room I'm in is at least safe. But there's a hole in the wall here, preventing me from advancing. Wait a minute, should I have just gone the other way? I mean, true, yeah, at this point, magnet beam. I'll collect... No. Okay. Okay, good. Alright, so now I'm up here, I get dropped down this way. Then over here is where it drops back. Okay. Okay, I understand what I was supposed to do for the token. So if I really wanted to do it, I would go over here, I would not slide my way into that E-tank, and I would jump here, get it, okay, and then slide out, and then figure my way out, drop down the ladder, drop down here, then slide out. Okay, that's the intended route to take. Oh my god. What a ridiculous setup. Okay, let's get rid of that. Get rid of that screenshot now. Spent nearly an hour in this level. Oh, yeah. Another one. Well, especially here, you might hear the ocean on top of recording Splash Woman's new hit single. Alright. Yeah, in the efforts to speed up some progress, I'm gonna maybe skip the judge comments on reading them out here, but I'm guessing that, oh man, they're definitely good and scathing. So, I would like to play one more level before I go. Promise next week's levels won't be as bad. I mean, most of these were good. That was the weird exception, and I still had a sick kind of enjoyment from it. It wasn't great, but it was still kind of fun in a really stupid roundabout way. I swear, ever since he found these old costumes, Punk's been very judgmental lately. He thinks he's so cool in that stupid pineapple suit when clearly beets are superior. Alright, Ballade. I don't think most people have even eaten beets, so, I think he might be right here. I have the best costume of anyone here, and I'll beat up anyone who says otherwise. With beets. With beets, or with beets, or with beets? The music, the vegetable, or the bird? I think the bird would be the most effective. Why is there an outhouse over this level? Brainbot, is anyone out there? You there, do you think you could assist me? Is purity trapped inside this metal chamber? A pineapple said that for an optimal costume for me, stored inside, but when I started to inspect, he pushed me inside. Yikes, Punk's getting really aggressive. After he robbed that bank, the money just went right to his head. Get out, someone's welded the locker door shut. Now, would anyone bar the outside of the locker door? Well, doesn't seem like I can help you. Sorry, bro. Get it, he's judgmental because he's dressed as Mick. Honestly, though, this is one of the least oh, well, I guess just judge at all. So, fair enough. Working in the rain. 5 token level. Okay, just as long as... Okay, good. No motion sickness, man. Alright, I can fuck with this. I can fuck with this. Okay, alright. I mean, a mix of Gutsman and Toadman's not the worst idea. Actually making these flies a little bit more effective, too. Compared to where they were in Pharaohman stage. Alright, not a fan of there being croakers just at all. I've never seen them once be used well. And this level does not seem to be going to prove the exception to that. Just because their use almost at all is terrible. Okay, so far we're very heavy into the Toadman leaning, not a whole lot of Gutsman. Blank background? That's a little bit off. A little bit aesthetically lacking. Something funny over here? No? No screen changes in that way? How about here? There's a rock over there. I guess I should have saw that coming. But a little bit rude. Okay. Generally like to see the judge comments on the Mirror Woman to end off the stream. If you're up for it, I need to see their opinions on it. Oh, yeah, sure. I know I broke from the usual pattern there. I thought maybe we were all getting a little bit sick of Mirror Woman, so but yeah, I can definitely go read them. Alright, maybe I should have seen the rock fall coming there, but come on, I see the shiny token. I don't want to think. Out, Demon Croaker, out. Don't need to see you anymore. Your breaking pattern just to freshen up a level isn't a giant endeavor. Yeah. We were all on that level a little bit too long. I could see the... God, to reference Undertale again. I could see the Metaton ratings just going down as we were spending more and more time on that stage. At least in my mind. Ice Balls, I always forget what's actually effective on you, so we'll just do this the old-fashioned way. Okay, more rain. Alright, now we're going with the rain. That's something appreciable. Toadman stage didn't do that for some reason. Is there a way to get this creatively from the next screen? No, it's just a... Alright, well, that token's a bit of a bummer. That's just a use magnet beam kind of thing. Alright, I do kind of like the white retexturing of the rocks, though. You don't get to see white rocks too often. It's kind of reminiscent of the cliffs of Dover, so I'll give it that, even if it's unintentional. Although just kind of raw dogging the Mega Man 1 tile set is, as the other judges have pointed out, a little bit of a bold move at this point. There are some prettier default tile sets out there. It's getting a little stale, although the Stone Man rocks in the background are helping. Okay, no more Joes. Just on the platform. That was a bad idea. Okay, I guess I should have seen that coming. I was asking for it. Out of the Oh God Why levels this contest has left to offer, there are only 2 left. The last one in Tier 8 and the other one in Tier 9. I also ended up skipping. Alright. Well, I'm still taking it upon myself to never use one of the skip teleporters, so I feel like the worst has to be behind me at this point, right? Right? Unless there's a level that literally just puts me into a washing machine and I'm just constantly rotating. I think I can probably handle it. Alright, pretty basic jump for that one. Wait, don't use Laser Trident here, that's a waste of your energy. Back to Laser Trident here. Alright, the enemy challenges are kind of just turning into... There's too many tanky enemies in this stage. Not nearly as bad as Worthless Man, but still, it's starting to get a bit tedious to be switching between the powerful weapons over and over. Depending on your perspective. Yeah, sure. I'm sure there will still be levels, like you mentioned, like, if they make you go, oh god, why, I will at the very least be going like, oh brother, this level stinks. So. But hopefully the abject torture is over. And again, I thought it was going to be over, and then I played Worthless Man last night, so, you know. Your 9-1 since I skipped it, but one guy who's been commenting on Dr. Novakin's video seems mentally scarred by it. Alright. Maybe I'm not done having lasting negative impressions from levels in this game. That rock dropped so fast. I guess I forgot that those are proximity-based, but I always feel that they're timing-based, so to completely forget that is pretty brutal. But yeah, this gimmick must be dredging up some great memories for you. I remember you saying that you absolutely hate these damn things. And I certainly dislike them myself. This Tier 10 on would be reasonable. Fair. Rocks fall. I die. Oh no, I die. Guess you must be Scissors Man. Ha. Bad jokes aside, we have this mini boss again for some reason. I appreciate the attempt to shake it up with a different floor, but it doesn't really add too much to the boss. The optimal place to stay is still on the center. Alright, out of here. Oh, I guess there was rain too, but I don't know. There's not a whole lot of jumping in that boss. Only when it actually tries to, you know, pass through you. And free 5th token. Alright, sure. I guess this person just wanted to be generous with the tokens. You need a couple of those for every fun house level that exists. I do appreciate that Toadman doesn't have quite the same level of allergy as the original incarnation. You at least have to make him jump at you constantly. Alright, well, that stage was fairly inoffensive. It really just existed. That was probably one of the more middling stages that I've played so far. It had mediocre graphics, mediocre usage of enemies that were maybe a little bit tanky, but not too terribly bad. Decent platforming challenges. I mean, a Toadman final boss, weak tokens. Didn't really feel like much of a challenge progression, just a series of different platforming challenges. And then, yeah, I don't know. There wasn't much memorable about the level. I don't think there even was, like, aside of rain, there wasn't really any gimmicks, so we'll come back to the commentary on this one. What do the judges have to say about Mirror Woman? Next week to start off on. Good, alright. Looking forward to that. Definitely like the music. It fits the mystical theme well. Mirror Woman is a level that makes a solid first impression. Yeah, first is about right. Enemy set's alright. Solo O is extremely useful. Shadow Mega Man emerging from mirrors is a nice touch. Yeah, the enemy selection is good for that. That's where it needs work. Mirror Attacker is a fitting enemy, but it is really boring even for a shield attacker. Yeah, it doesn't do anything special. And while this Whip Tank is a nice enemy, I have absolutely no idea why it's here. Yeah, that enemy would have felt more in place in, oh, what is it? Chance Man? No. Not Chance Man. Whatever it is from Mega Man Rock Force. The one with the question mark. I'm blanking right now. It's too late. The gimmicks are similarly alright. Mirrors are the expected choice, and they get a lot of good puzzles. The mirror world's a fun concept, and I appreciate how much it shows up. Yoku blocks are Yoku blocks with all the benefits and flaws that apply. Raffles are there. The reverse gravity throws it all off course. Yep. Fine line between fun screwery and frustrating screwery, and stacking reverse gravity on top of Yoku's and mirror switch puzzles absolutely in the latter camp, combined with one of the most awkward tokens I've seen in a while. Y'all are lucky to have the radar. The level falls flat on its face. Boss is enough to salvage it, well, kind of. VtuberEN is okay in regular gravity. A little over the top, nothing major. And reverse gravity is just plain irritating, easier to line up hits on, but noticeably harder to dodge. I didn't feel like it was too difficult at that point, but I could see why. Less said about the dev room, VtuberEN, the better. Yeah, not bothering with that. Going to use Eddie's cheats for that, if anything. Charade Man. Yep, there you go. That's what I was thinking of for the Charade clone. Yep. That would work better in that stage. Appreciate that she doesn't have reverse gravity. Yeah, that would have been a bit much. Both okay bosses, but they should get some toning down, and the reverse gravity level desperately needs toning down. Okay. File under the would-be favorite category. It's the type of stage that I want to like and certainly potential to be good, but ends up falling short for one reason or another. Didn't start off too bad. The room layouts in the first half, though a bit rough around the edges at times. Still pretty fun thanks to how the gimmicks are used. The mirror surfaces stuck out to me the most, given it's a simple mechanic. Mirror image rooms, yeah, they're fine. They're still enjoyable, the Mega Man series. You weren't a fan of the tiles and the color palettes. Really? I thought they were actually quite nice. Maybe a little ostentatious, but, you know, pleasant to look at. I got near the second half of the level, however, I unfortunately found more things to add to that list. First off, the mini-boss. Really like his concept and design. The actual fight can be very frustrating. Let's see. Weak spots covered. Yeah, it's a little bit difficult. As thematically appropriate as the second half may be, don't really think a majority of it is needed to be in reversed gravity. Yeah. For the heart token, that one was insane. Yeah. Turns out the room's layout is actually revealed by the same one in the second half of the level, which requires foresight, which is just a wild thing to request out of the player. Yeah, obtuse indeed. Oops. It's from Mirror Woman himself, which is a rather decent fight. Doesn't do anything too fancy, but you still managed to put up an engaging fight. Yeah, I thought Mirror Woman was fine. Maybe a little bit too spammy, but it's okay. Your surfaces act finicky with charge shots. Yeah, probably because it hits, like, lower than it should. Now, this is a 50-50 chance of your shots flying off to the side. In any case, just I ended up leaving the stage a bit disappointed. More polished, this could have easily been a far better level. And one of my favorites. Honestly, with just a little less... as Shinryu and Mika said, just remove the reverse gravity. Just do the mirror section without the reverse gravity. Would have been fine. Would have been a little bit confusing, but the reverse gravity makes me lose my lunch. Seeing double mystical magnificence. It's going for here. Two main disorienting gimmicks at once. Flexing gimmick combo on a stage that is on the longer side of the total 5 tokens to search for. I would not recommend replaying this without extended breaks. Replaying? That's generous. View of the screens can look a bit messy, with the graphics clashing with each other. Giants in the glass panes, making it hard to decipher where some of the stage elements are. Yeah, it happened at times. Unfortunately, the unorthodox... Oops. Damn 360 controller. Strikes again. The unorthodox nature of the level doesn't make it any better. Block is placed close to the ground near a slope where it looks like Mega Man can walk through, but it's a little too narrow to do so. Speed Jam kind of reminds me of Super Idol. I wish I knew what that was. Sorry I didn't get your reference there, Boxilla. But it reminds me of elevator music, if anything. Like I could very much see Mega Man riding in an elevator with, his brother or Bass just kind of awkwardly being like, "So, what'd you do today?" Laser Trident makes the horrendous noise. I'm glad I wasn't the only one who found the chicken dance. That. Some of the mirror rooms also kind of don't really use Eyes of Miniature gimmick all that much. Yeah, there's that one weird vertical section where it's like there's no point in the mirror being there, so why bother? VtuberEN, the fortune telling mini machine boss is brutal. At first I wasn't even sure where the hitbox was because he kept spamming the move where he shoots scaled up bullets at you. Boss health bar, lasting a little too long. Yeah, I don't think VtuberEN needed iframes. That was a bit much as well. I mean, if you wanted to actually be a mini boss, don't give it iframes. Especially if it's already that shield too. It does not need them. Everyone in contrast is much more manageable, except for the one attack where she splits into 2 copies. The reflection of the mirror in the middle. I found a reliable way, but it's kind of certainly a weird crawl across the room, and then a mad dash back. So the diagonal mirror gimmick gets incorporated to the boss fight in the last few attacks. That was good too. They're trying to mirror sound like a drill at the dentist's office. One thing I've learned from participating in these contests is that it's better to focus on a few good ideas and let unbridled creativity overwhelm a level. The level goes all out with different interpretations of the mirror premise, reflected shots, clones, reversing direction, and that's awesome. Then it keeps piling on gimmicks, enemies, and extras until there's too much to handle. Yep. Its organization is one of the level's key weaknesses. Difficulty progression is all over the place, and gimmick introductions are never as clear or forgiving as they should be. I wouldn't quite say that. I think that they were all introduced pretty well into each other, but it's just the mixing of them in the blender is about as appetizing as putting glass into a blender and then trying to eat that. Checkpoint frequency is a little erratic. Secret teleporters behind the starting point are a disastrous thing for first-time players to discover. Cluttered graphics and crowded architecture, the scenery, hard to parse, the mix of textures, colors, and like negative space turn a nice tile set into an eyesore. I don't really agree. There are more than once on hazards I didn't even realize were there. Polish is another weakness. Has some enemy programming, sprite errors, and game crashes. Yikes. I mean, there was definitely some desync in the mirror rolled sprites, so that's unfortunate, but, you know, nothing too disastrous. With the laser trident, yep. Mini boss, inconsistent weapon interactions, the choice of boss projectile. Only the custom sprites are exempt. They look like Capcom sprites, and that's the highest praise I can offer to anyone. Oh, and the music is pretty much perfect. Yeah, music and sprite work was excellent. As if it's a muster. I can't fathom a buster only run. VtuberEN is an infuriating combination of everything I hate in a mini boss. Wow. I wouldn't quite go that far. I thought VtuberEN was fine, though a little bit too tanky for my liking. And then you have to fight him twice. Not good. Most of all, prolonged exposure, multiple perception twisting gimmicks, 30 minutes each playthrough. Yeah, oof. I'll be mentally exhausted and physically ill. A shattering combination that affects poorly on the level. Agreed. I'm shocked that Spark gave this the 73 after not being able to do the Worthless Man. This is motion sickness. Second time Etherville submitted a level that's prone to crashing. But what did they submit previously? I don't I don't remember them by name. Supposed to be a very good level. The custom specific areas that drag it down quite a lot. There's several segments of the level that were simply mean, involving tight jumps and missing checkpoints, combined with a lot of instant death. Yeah, again, not between rooms, or number of screens between rooms with the time it takes to get there. Often you have repeat puzzles or areas of waiting. In one case, a lengthy mini boss. Add more checkpoints. Yeah, I guess so, but still. Me adding more checkpoints always feels kind of like the old like NES idea of like, well, if I can't make this level fair and balanced, I'll just put a respawning one up there, and you know the player can just grind on this level forever. So the bandage to a greater problem. There's a lot of waiting in the level between mini boss phases where it's shielded. The solo O being invulnerable and frequent, and Yoku Bak puzzles. Okay, grammar. Level often loses all sense of flow as you run into these obstacles. Even if you've already completed the challenge, they bring multiple times. Alright, that was supposed to be Peter there, okay. The Tier 8 Conveyor level by Thoron back then. Huh. I don't know. A little bit too far back in the memory banks. Must not have been super memorable for me. Combining gimmicks is appreciated, but the second half of the level went a bit overboard. Combining reverse gravity, the doppelganger, and Yoku blocks all at once became quite the headache at times. Last section was upside down when the mirroring has clearly happened left to right. Yeah, agreed. Few rooms in particular which are unfair. The heart token room is... ugh. Mirrored room later on, the level does not accurately reflect the dark room. For instance, where's the third mirror? Yeah, exactly. Use of instant death in this room and the lack of a checkpoint here is very punishing. Later on, there's a room where the exit is mostly hidden behind the health bar. The HUD needs taking into consideration when designing levels. Well, okay, if you use this aspect ratio and have the HUD on the outside, it's not so bad, but definitely in the original engine, yeah, it's a problem. Having said all this, I enjoyed the level quite a bit. Really? The reflection gimmick is... well, yeah, I guess I enjoyed it more than all my complaining would imply. More. I wanted to see more puzzles like the final room, combining enemies, mirror blocks, and timing puzzles with the puzzles we got were well thought out and interesting. I like the idea behind the mini boss and how the fight goes on. I think the second one was a waste of time, especially if it was invulnerable for a long period of the fight, and when the attacks couldn't hit the player, yeah, you'd really have to be asking to be hit by the beam attack. Maybe a mirror should have been in that room. The use of RNG wasn't great, as it could reuse attacks that made it impossible to hit without weapons. Your one was a solid, enjoyable fight. Some of the attacks were placed in slightly unfair locations. The initial plan was to use a proxy player whilst playing was physically impossible. Wait, what? For what it's worth, this was a level played when the initial plan was to use a proxy player. I know that Spark needed a proxy player. Whilst playing, physically impossible for me. Leanna, in fact, did not like this level. So he couldn't use this. Moving on. Did that affect the review and scores much? Not really. I am the judge here, so I've gotten a reasonably positive score, but you did make back some fun score, as at the time I had to rely solely on him for that, for obvious reasons. It's one of those behind the curtain types of things. Alright, well, yeah, I don't know. That's a glowing score from Spark, surprisingly. I don't know. I mean... I kind of get the idea, like, yeah, it was still kind of fun for all of its problems, but yeah, I don't know. It's hard to quite go for a 17 in fun and a 22 in design. I probably would have hit more of Mick's scores. I tend to agree with Mick the most, but Mick doesn't comment enough, so then Flashman tends to explain things in greater detail. Ace needed a proxy. Yeah, I remember that. It was just like a matter of how Ace just worded it, and I was just like, what the fuck was that sentence? But he had a lot of typos in that paragraph, or in that dev note in general, so it was hard to parse. All right, and then what was working in the ring like? Okay, a decent attempt. The rain is exactly as prevalent as it is. Tiles of chess, works well with the drill rocks. And I wouldn't say it works well. They mostly weren't combined. They were just separate sections entirely. Any construction site concept communicates beautifully with the title, so props for the aesthetic. Enemies, Croakers, Hammerjoes, and Hey-Hays seem to work well together, creating scenarios where they're occasionally a threat. Combined with a fair difficulty curve and a lack of cheap shots doesn't seem terrible. I don't really like that enemy set, so I can't really corroborate that feeling. However, Rainstorm's made for a tedious core gimmick, particularly when it's pushing against you, and the enemy set, while functional, is relatively bland and especially tedious. Yes. For the entire time. Yeah, not much stuck out to me besides the just random 2 mini-bosses that we had to fight. Some more active gimmicks would be appreciated for that matter. The 5th token was just completely arbitrary. Why was it there? Yeah, agreed. If I was paying more attention, I probably would have been on a longer search for the 5th token before entering the boss door. Another thing to talk about is glitches. This used so much rain for the first while, the level was crashing into unplayability and couldn't be judged. We've obviously fixed that at this point, being a dev kit assets that's partially on the team, but left a mark on the functionality. I would advise being careful with the gimmick usage in the future. Not everything works when it gets used all over the level. All accounts, it's a perfectly average level. Yeah. Nothing too noteworthy about the platforming. They're pretty simple, standard gimmick usage. Yeah. That note, I noticed that the checkpoints on this stage are pretty far from each other. If I would have died more, I would have noticed that, but, you know. Checkpoints aside, the only other issues relate to the ending, lack of ideas or time constraints with the last token. Yeah, a little bit of effort. I mean, one was literally just use Magnet Beam, but we can look past that, I guess. And then just fighting Toadman at the end, like, eh. Also, I appreciate trying to spice up Vanilla Boss in some way. I don't think it really works here. Yeah, it doesn't really do much considering that the ideal strategy is to fight Toadman on the ground. Takes a lot to make this fight interesting or even remotely difficult. I don't think these things make a bad level. A bit rough around the edges, sure, but it's relatively average stage. Yep. Results stream. So much rain it crashed the game. Raining with a chance of frogs. Pre-need aesthetics. Combine the various construction theme Robot Masters tile sets together. That would have probably looked a little less dull with one vibrant color or two to the palette. Yeah, blue and white is a little bit dull. Inverse difficulty curve going on here. Yeah, I agree. It definitely got kind of more of a snooze fest towards the end. Never joined the frog enemies for combat with the rain physics. Second guess about jumping to dodge the hammer on their platforms. That's a fair point. I just was so done with Joe's that it's time to just, you know, use Laser Trident. Block dispensers, the initial introduction is decent, but it is not enough as the rock falls immediately again if you try to lure it initially. Yeah, that's why those dispensers are not fun to use. Getting out of and into the range of the drop again, leading you to get hit. Rude placement of the stopper enemy right before the boss gate. I didn't even notice it, so. Regular Toadman, sure there's rain, but no need to jump, so that's done. Fun setting, sets a nice tone at a glance, refusing Rush Jet and Laser Trident to plow heads, easy to ride with the challenges as tepid variations. Things we've seen elsewhere. I mean, yeah, it started off really similar to Toadman and like Concrete Man's layouts, so it kind of loses creativity at the very beginning. As much as the level revolves around deceptively tricky combinations, Joe's with Hey-Hays, a boulder filled with zigzagging platform climb. Each new section starts with a checkpoint, has a distinctive look, sucker for monochrome. Very different aesthetic palette than, or preferences than everyone else. Builds in the section before it, with the exception of a frog ambush or two, everything is introduced thoughtfully, especially the rain. I would have liked more interplay between rain and the regular backgrounds. A little more standing water. Yeah, that would have been nice for decoration. A couple nitpicks regarding architecture, tile work, and exploding mini-boss walls, but I'll devote my word count to things that limit my enjoyment most. Lack of power-ups, samey challenges, magnet beam ruins everything. Well, that's also pretty hard to design around, so. Swapped up Hammer Joe for Pickle Mandata. Yeah. But I understand why Hammer Joe was the choice to actually jump over the hammers. Okay, more relevant. Not want me the same way other levels do, but I respect the premises about the subtle creativity, deliberate design that characterizes the level. Good old magnet beam. Nothing. Let's recycle some jokes. Hammer Joe is the enemy you use when you run out of ideas. Your first enemy and over 50% of the enemies are Hammer Joes. Doesn't help that the other enemies either couldn't be killed or had a huge amount of health. Yeah. Yeah, honestly, I think maybe I agree with Ace on this one. This was very boring, and Laser Trident just made it at least a little faster. I guess I think the level architecture and gimmicks are decent, but it's so hard to tell. Around the enemies that cover the stage, the average checkpoint was around 4 dull, repetitive minutes. Oh, very short review. Okay. There's not much more to say as the enemy choice completely killed the stage. Yeah, agreed. Alright. Whew, what a tiring little level to play. Or, well, at least a nice cooldown after a very brain-melting level there at the end. But yeah, I'm very much ready for bed after all that, so I'm gonna say call it for the night. Thanks for joining me. We'll be resuming the rest of Tier 8 next week. Hopefully, well, I've been informed that maybe there shouldn't be so many disastrous levels left, so we'll have fun with that. So, thanks for joining me, and have a good night, everyone. Bye.